This is a man they call your boy, Eryk Anders. Welcome back to the show, my friend.
Hey, thank you for having me, brother.
My pleasure, my pleasure. Really look forward to this fight, brother. This is a rematch of a fight that ended in an unusual way with the dentist, Darren Stewart. Remind us how that went down a couple of months back.
Oh, well, I was, winning the fight and kneed him in the head when he was on the ground. Kind of, maybe, very questionable. But, Herb Dean ruled it a no contest, and that was back in March, and here we are in June.
Yep.
Running it back.
Was that on that same card that the same thing happened to Aljamain Sterling and Peter Yan, or the next week or something like that?
It was the week after, but there was another no contest on this card. Leon Edwards poked Bilal Muhammad in the eye. He couldn't continue, so.
That's right. Man, speaking about the eye, what's your opinion on that, man? I know some people have shown some different gloves out there that have your finger arced forward a little bit so that it can't be stuck out straight. Do you have any thoughts? I mean, is that something that would work, or is there anything that can be done, or do you think the gloves that you guys have now are just the best you can possibly have?
Man, I'm sure there's always like options and things that you could do better. But at the end of the day, this is what we have now. So it is what it is. I know I fought for Bellator one time, and their gloves had a curve to them, and they were actually quite comfortable. Maybe that could be a thing. I don't know. I know Trevor Whitman has designed a glove. Supposed to be good for that. So I think there are options, but I'm sure it comes down to money and things like that. So
absolutely, what they have to deal with or anything. Speaking about Trevor Whitman, is he someone you train with, or remind us where you train and who's helping you for this camp?
No, I would love the opportunity to train with Trevor, but he runs that Onyx lab, and I actually reached out to him not long ago before I started training here at Fight Ready. But he can only train 3 or 4 people at a time, so he was booked up. So now I'm out here training at Fight Ready.
Very cool. Who's helping you for this camp?
Santino DeFranco, Eddie Chaw, and Ray Waters.
Very cool. Some good looks and some good training from them. So was there any bad blood with you and Darren Stewart either before or after that fight?
Man, I don't ever have any animosity towards anybody that I fight, and I really don't care how they feel about me. To be honest, I'm just out here as a competitor. It's just the nature of the sport that we play, and people get punched in the face, kicked in the face, and we beat each other up. But after the fight's over with, I'm cool with just about everybody that I fought. So I don't know how he feels. But yeah, on my end, I'm cool.
That's good, and I like that because I'm a lifelong martial artist, never a professional fighter, but I really like when that respect is in there. I think that's something that differentiates boxing a little bit. Not that they don't have mutual respect in boxing, but it seems like in MMA there's even more of that respect, with you guys being warriors. Essentially, like, you guys are modern day samurai warriors in the fact that you do it all. It's like as close to a real fight as possible, and so I do like that. So you've been looking really good the last couple of years. I remember when they brought you in on short notice, your first fight against Machida, and you looked good then, but I think you're definitely an improved fighter from those early days, and I think you're even an improved fighter from 3 or 4 years ago. What do you accredit that to? Are you doing anything different? Do you feel any differently? Eating anything different?
Everything I'm doing is different, Man, Eddie Chaw, I never really understood range and distance and stuff like that. And so all my fights, I just, stand toe to toe and, always be in that boxing range. But you don't always have to fight like that. And, I can attack from way further away. And when you understand that range and distance, you don't get hit as much because, your opponent has to cover a lot of ground and distance as well. So, um, yeah, just he's just been able to teach me and give me an understanding on range and distance, and it's helped so much with my timing and everything else that I think that was a critical piece of the game that I was missing. Because man, I'll stand toe to toe and trade with anybody, but that's not very conducive to a long career. So not only am I getting better, but he's going to extend my career as well.
Absolutely. And I know you spent a little bit of time at light heavyweight. Obviously, it's always fun not having to cut weight, but it seems like you're kind of feeling good at middleweight. And do you plan to stay here for a good little while?
Yeah, I think middleweight's my weight class. My last fight at middleweight was the easiest cut I ever had. So I felt the strongest. My stamina was great. Aesthetically, I look good. Probably the lowest my body fat has ever been in my life. And everything was just great.
Excellent. Do you know what position you are on the card? Are you guys like on the main card? Or are you like the main or co-main on the prelims? Or where are you at,
I believe we are the co-main on the prelims.
Okay. All right. That's not a bad position at all. What a card, man. Does it excite you to be on a card with some of these big names, or does it not really make a difference to you?
Yeah, the atmosphere is different. Especially, I think the biggest thing about this card is that we're going to have fans.
Yep.
And I think that plays the biggest factor into it,
And is that something that you missed during the pandemic? Are you someone that really likes the fans, kind of feed off that energy?
Oh, absolutely. I love it. I love them. And they seem to love me every time I fight. It's always a brawl and an exciting fight. So that's what they pay that money to come see. So that's what I bring to the table. That's what they like.
Absolutely.
And so I don't think I've ever been booed.
That's a good thing. So your nickname, your boy, do you ever find yourself calling up one of your friends on the phone? Obviously now people can see who's calling. But you ever hit anyone up and say, hey, it's your boy, so they know who it is, because you are the official UFC fighter, your boy. Do you ever use that or not really?
Yeah. That's kind of how I got my nickname. I refer to myself as your boy. I help your boy out.
That's cool.
Things like that. So, it's just kind of stuck. That's it's just my name now.
Very, very cool. So this is a big, important fight for both of you guys, because I don't know as far as numbers, but I would think both of you guys got to be considered top 20 guys for sure, I would feel. And this one is just going to inch you higher up. I know you don't like to look past opponents, but as far as looking at what you'd like to do coming off a good win here against a dentist, are you thinking there's some people you want to try to jump in there with? Are you trying to get someone with like a top 10 number next to their name or something like that? Or what are your thoughts providing this goes the way you have it planned?
Man, I'm just not really focused on that right now. Just thinking about the dentist, but as I sit and stew in this hotel doing nothing, I'll take a look and see who's fought and who hasn't fought. There were a couple guys that I was supposed to fight in 2020 that I didn't get a chance to do. So maybe I'll fight one of them. I don't know yet. We'll see what's up.
Absolutely. And because the middleweight division, it's kind of muddled a little bit. You have Izzy coming back down against Vettori. You have Paulo Costa was supposed to fight Cannonier, and it looks like that's off, and Paulo's getting Dana White mad about with whatever he's talking. And then you got, a Robert Whittaker who looked absolutely amazing in his last fight. Still, I know you have Gastelum hanging in there. You've got the other guy that beat no, he's light heavyweight, Jerry. But there's some guys up there, but a lot of guys that have been kind of in and out. And I could really see you being in the picture with those guys coming off a win. Would you take a fight like that if it was offered to you, or do you still feel like you've got some work to do more before jumping on those guys?
I mean, yeah, I feel like to earn my way up there. I got some work to do, but I've never said no whenever they ask me. So. If like some short notice thing came up, it was like, hey, You want to fight the number whoever, I guess, of course.
Right. You actually also got Jack Hermanson coming off that win over Edmund Shabazian. Hermanson is a tough guy. So there's some good fights to be had up there. What do you think about the main event? I don't know if you're a guy who makes predictions, or I don't know if you're sharing a dressing room with either of those guys, but there's a lot of trash talk. I mean, Marvin Vettori is a unique dude, man. He seems like he's the only Italian guy at this high level in an MMA promotion, and he's also the biggest trash talking Italian guy that I've ever seen. And he seems like he just hates everybody. And Izzy gets very mad when people get up in his grill. So I don't know. Is some of that promotion, or do you think these dudes are really genuinely don't like each other?
I think Marvin's like an intense guy. I don't think that there's very much anything fake about him or Israel. I think Israel's obviously a little bit more laid back, but I think his wordplay, his trash talking is a little bit better than Vettori's, but I think their animosity towards each other is very genuine. Izzy's up 1-0 against Vettori. Like I said, he's a pretty intense and seems to be an emotional guy. So, of course, that I'm sure that bothers him.
Without a doubt. You think that fight will look just like it? Sorry to interrupt you, Eryk. You think that fight might look similar to what it looked like a few years back when both those guys were younger?
Nah. I think Israel's grown immensely in this sport. I think that Marvin's only chance to victory is to wrestle, as I'm sure that after Adesanya lost the way he did to Yan, I'm sure he thinks that everybody thinks that that's the way to beat him. So I'm sure he's worked tirelessly on his takedown defense and getting back up and things like that. So things will be much harder to take down this time.
Yeah, that's what I think, because also Vettori is nowhere near as big as Yan.
And also, if that is his path to victory, can he do that for 5 rounds? I know he did against Kevin Holland, but Kevin Holland is nowhere near the stature of Adesanya. So, and Adesanya doesn't appear to ever get tired. So,
very true.
I think he's a tough cookie tough nut to crack.
Without a doubt. And that fight, other than yours, is probably the one that you're going to be most interested in, because A, it's a middleweight fight, and B, it's a title fight. But what other fights, if I could ask, excite you on this card, if any? Are you also kind of a fan of the sport? Because like some people love MMA. Some people are watching all divisions, men, women, everything, that are UFC fighters. Other people couldn't really care less that much if it's not their division. Where do you stand on that?
I watch every single MMA fight that I can, even like local promotions and the UFC and everywhere in between. Bellator 1,
PFL, everything, right?
PFL, yeah. I love the sport. I'm a fan of the sport. I was a fan before I was a fighter. I'm still a fan. I'll be a fan long after I'm done fighting. So
very cool. Let me throw some questions at you real quick here for the last few minutes. PFL, Claressa Shields, coming out of boxing. She's training her wrestling. She's in there with John Jones, Holly Holm, those people over there. With her athleticism, she's only 26 years old, but she's only spent 7 or 8 months learning MMA, but she's probably doing it every day. Can she come in there and beat a girl who maybe isn't a world killer, but has a lot more experience than her? Or how do you think that might go down this coming up Thursday night?
Yeah, obviously she's got a lot of ground to make up in the grappling department, but every round starts on the feet, so she's gonna have to, whoever she's fighting is gonna have to get past her hands. And also just the way that she's built, she's very has a really big lower body, so I'm sure she's a very powerful woman, so I'm sure her hips are very strong. So man, it's not hard to teach a sprawl, but you have to develop that feel on when to sprawl, how hard to sprawl, and to see shots and things coming. And, obviously cage wrestling is a new wrinkle. Yeah, man, I think that she could be successful, man. She's a world-class athlete. And, boxers are really good at moving their feet. I think, when other athletes come over, they don't move their feet as well. So I think, her coming from boxing, will, definitely help her and her. The footwork in boxing was really going to help her with her takedown defense because she's always going to be moving. She's never going to be stagnant. I don't think I've never seen her box, but just looking at people who box, they always seem to be on their bike a little bit. So
absolutely. Which fights, real quick, are you looking forward to other than yours in the main event? We got Moreno Figueiredo, the rematch. We got Nate Diaz, Leon Edwards, Jamal Hill, Paul Craig, the women's fight, Joanne Calderwood Murphy, Brad Riddell, Drew Dober. What would be the fight other than yours in the main event that you think might be the most exciting?
Dude, I think they're all going to be exciting. I don't think they put together these matchups accidentally for this card. I think that there's going to be a lot of finishes on this card. There's a lot of strikers. So it's definitely be a very fan-friendly card. And like I said, I'm a fan. So, I don't think there's any one fight that stands out more than another other than the title fights. Obviously, Nate Diaz, Leon Edwards, they're like polar opposites in terms of personality. So, it'll be fun to watch those guys get in there and display everything that they got.
Without doubt. Do you have any prediction in that one?
I think Leon Edwards has more ways to win. He's definitely the stronger. He's been in it fight ready. He's looking big, lean, and explosive. So I haven't seen Diaz, but I don't know. I think that Leon Edwards is the more technical guy.
Very cool. Where is Fight Ready based? What city and state is that?
Scottsdale, Arizona.
Excellent, man. So you are right there, man. This is like a home field for you with fans. You have a bunch of people coming down to see you?
Yeah, it's about 30 minutes away. So, yeah. State of Arizona, turn up for your boy.
Got to do it, man. You guys got to show up, and there's still tickets available. Eryk, really appreciate it, man. Can't wait to see you do your thing and go get the W over the dentist. Darren Stewart out of England. I know you can do it, man. Really appreciate your time. Eryk, your boy Anders, can't wait to cheer for you. Go get that W, man.
I appreciate it, brother.
Thank you for watching the Hannibal TV. Please like this video if you enjoyed it and click the subscribe button to not miss any of our latest shoot interviews, match videos, or news updates. Support us on patreon.com for $1.99 a month to watch our full shoot interviews ad-free and help our channel grow. Follow us on Twitter at the Hannibal TV for instant updates.